Hey guys, and welcome to this month's edition of the K Doubles or Double K's UFC 205 review. This week, I'm of course, like I said, going to take a look at UFC 205, what was a pretty good pay-per-view, top to bottom. They opened the card, or the event took place in Madison Square Garden for the first time ever for a UFC event. New York. 20+ thousand in attendance. There were 3 title bouts total on the card. They opened up with the women's bantamweight match between Miesha Tate and Rachel Pennington. It was a fight that Pennington pretty much dominated throughout the whole match, and at the end of it all, it went as a unanimous decision to Pennington. And unfortunately, due to the result, we lose out on one of the women that I liked in the women's division in general, and that is Miesha Tate. She decided to retire after this match was over with, and decided to move on with her life and go and do bigger and better things. Sorry, setting up for the next recording. But yeah, do bigger and better things. But it was a match where it was kind of like the Randy Couture one, where he retired right after losing that fight, where she just kind of looked sloppy. She didn't look like herself. She definitely didn't look like the woman who beat Holly Holm for the women's bantamweight title a few months back. So Miesha Tate, congratulations on a great career. It was a wonderful honor to watch you perform in the ring, and can't wait to see what you get into next. Next up was a middleweight bout between Yoel Romero and Chris Weidman, a fight that I actually thought Weidman would win, not knowing much about Yoel, or not knowing much about Romero. But now I have a brand new respect for Romero. Romero just a flying knee and some punches, and Weidman was on his back, bleeding from the head, and after taking a beat down. So the winner was, of course, Romero. In the third round, the final round of the match, Romero gets off the flying knee. Up till that point, Romero had dominated the fight. He was definitely the stronger fighter, and really the guy that just dominated Weidman. I hate to say that because Weidman's the guy that knocked out one of my favorite guys in Anderson Silva, but Weidman for this fight got dominated. I think he'll bounce back and he'll do well. He'll get back into the title picture, but right now looks like Luke Rockhold may be facing a bulldozer of a man in Yoel Romero. Next fight up was a middleweight bout, women's strawweight bout, the championship match. I'm probably gonna butcher these names, but Joanna Jedrzejczyk and Carolina Kalawatzik. I guess I probably butchered those names, but I'll just call them Joanna and Carolina, only because I don't want to butcher their names any further. Joanna ends up retaining her title in a unanimous decision. I think the Carolina actually had a few good moments and a couple of good rounds, but I think the judges made the correct decision in giving it to the champ. Like I said, if you're going to beat the champ by decision, you really have to dominate the champion at minimum the first 3 rounds, if not the first 2 rounds, and then the last round. And this was something that unfortunately she didn't do. I believe she did dominate her last round, and she dominated her one of the middle rounds, but Joanna had the edge from the tilt and really took advantage of it. So still your women's strawweight champion, Joanna Jedrzejczyk. So the fourth match, the co-main event, so to speak, was the welterweight title bout between Tyron Woodley and Stephen Thompson. Thompson, yeah, this kid impressed the hell out of me. Great skill, almost put Woodley on his ass a couple of different times, but there were just a couple of times late in the fight in which Woodley rocked him and dominated him so hard, just would rock him with one punch. I think it was in the pre-fight stuff that they referred to Tyron Woodley as a cannonball, always moving and always moving forward, and completely explosive. And that's exactly what it was. Woodley would back up, and then all of a sudden you'd see him shoot out and hit the kid with something hard. And the kid was able to absorb a lot of it. But later in the rounds, as the fight went on, you could just tell he had the kid bleeding a couple of different times, hit him with a couple of good shots straight to the dome. So needless to say, Woodley retained his title via majority decision. An interesting twist. They called this match actually a draw. It was the final decision with the majority decision going to Woodley. So he retains the title, but we should expect to see these two go at it again. This is probably two of the most evenly matched guys of the night. Definitely the fight of the night. I couldn't have seen it any better. The final fight was your main event, what everybody came to see. Eddie Alvarez, lightweight champion, putting his belt on the line against featherweight champion Conor McGregor. And McGregor makes history. Early in the second round, in a fight in which McGregor dominated from the very, very beginning, it was just, wow. This man impresses me. I cannot take anything away from his skill. Now, with that being said, I still think he needs to stop talking about Floyd Mayweather and just leave it alone. Because you'd have to go into his division in order to really do anything impressive, because beating Floyd Mayweather in the octagon wouldn't do you any good, because everybody knows you can beat him in the octagon. Stepping into a boxing ring to do it, you're probably going to lose. But congrats to Conor. He's done something that nobody's ever done in UFC history. I like the kid. I like what he's done, but stick to the UFC, kid. Leave Floyd Mayweather out your mouth. Stop thinking about it. Yeah, it may be $1 billion payday, and Floyd may even be willing to do it, but it's not really going to be anything but a joke of a fight. So, y'all have a great day. That's pretty much been my entire UFC preview or review. Overall, I gave the card an A+, one of the rare things that I'll ever do for any card, but I gave this one an A+, as they really put up the best, who put up the best fights that they possibly could. With an exception for Eddie Alvarez, who lost his title in shocking fashion and in a way that I thought was beneath him as a champion. So, all right, y'all have a great night. I've been Double K. This has been my UFC 205 review, and I'll check y'all out next month.